This is the Art Zone.
This is the Art Zone.
The Art Zone is a video document of the arts and artists in the Rockford area.
This is the Art Zone.
Hi, I'm Doc Slavkowski, and this is the Art Zone. We're coming to you from J.R. Kortman Center for Design downtown in the heart of Rockford's cultural district. In this Art Zone, we'll take you to opening night of With Love, a Kortman Gallery exhibition of jewelry as art by Rockford artist Deb Karash, and then on to the Rockford Art Museum for Sight and Sound, a multimedia exhibition of video art along with kinetic, interactive, and sound sculpture. And then the drum collection of Cheap Trick's Bun E is presented as sculptural objects in a major installation at the Clark Art Center at Rockford College. And we're going to Rock Valley College for the annual Rockford Area High School Juried Art Show, curated by artist John Fraser. Plus, in video art, Paul Harvey Oswald. So now here's an interview with artist Deb Karash at her opening night at the Kortman Gallery. So, sit back, relax, and enter the Art Zone. We're at opening night of With Love, an exhibition of new jewelry by Deb Karash, and we're talking with Deb Karash. Deb, tell us a little bit about the show, the concept of the show, and then I have another question to ask you about your work.
Well, the concept of the show was just, I was thinking about how I felt about making the jewelry, and it really is a process that I do out of love. I love doing the work, and I love the finished pieces, and I was also thinking about the fact that, if it weren't for the love of my friends and my family, I wouldn't be able to do this, because I get an awful lot of support from them and from the people in Rockford who buy my work. And
Well, you did a show at the Kortman Gallery a couple years ago. How would you say your work has changed since then?
oh gosh, it's gone through a number of changes since then. The new work is more about surface. It's about color and line and texture, and I guess that's the big change. My work for a long time, my work was real figurative, and it's not as much now.
You also are presenting jewelry here as fine art, and tell us about the connection there between art and jewelry, because some people might say jewelry is more of a craft. How do you consider yourself an artist?
Well, I think I am a fine crafts person. I mean, jewelry is a fine craft, but the line between fine craft and art has been blurring for some time now, and it's very difficult to determine whether an object is a piece of sculpture or a piece of craft. These pieces are presented in frames because a lot of my customers like my work but don't necessarily wear a lot of jewelry, and so they would like to be able to look at it in a different realm. And I also wanted to be able to kind of push people to think of it in a different way, to see it as an object, not necessarily just jewelry, but an object in the same way that they'd look at a piece of clay or a piece of glass as an art object.
In your statement, you talk about your relationship with jewelry and why you have such an affinity to it. Explain that, because I think it's really a nice way of relating to jewelry that you don't think about all the time.
Well, for me, it's about the intimacy and the scale of jewelry. When people wear a piece of jewelry, it becomes more personal than maybe a painting or a drawing or something. They choose this piece, they're going to put it on their person and wear it out in public. And quite often, jewelry is a gift. People buy it to represent a special moment in time, a special memory. And so jewelry sort of takes on people's stories, and it's sort of exciting to sort of play a part in that story.
That's really very nice. What would you like people walking away with besides your art? I mean, what feeling would you like them to have after they see the show?
Well, I want them to feel good. I want them to feel excited about jewelry and to think about it in a different way, you know, to be able to see jewelry as more than just, you know, an accessory to go on a piece of clothing or something, that it, you know, it's something that they can use to express how they're feeling. And
Do you think, since this is a new direction in a way for you, is this where you're going to continue to go, or was this something kind of special just for this show, or as far as your work is concerned, the look of your work?
no, you know, it is a real new direction for me, and the first time I've shown most of these pieces, and I've gotten really great feedback from it, you know, and all of the really new pieces are sold. So I think that gives me the impetus to go in that direction for sure. And I'm enjoying doing the color and the surface design, and I think I'll probably still do some of the pieces from the old series and continue on in the new. I like to have probably 3 or 4 different series going at one time.
The Art Zone comes to the Rockford Art Museum for Sound and Vision, a kinetic, electronic, video and sound presentation. And we're going to talk to a couple of the artists who have participated in the show. And also there's a Rockford High School connection to the show. One of the artists was brought here by 2 gentlemen from Jefferson High School, and we'll talk to them also. We're at Sound and Vision, opening night of an exhibition at the Rockford Art Museum, and we're talking with 2 of the guys that are sort of responsible for this exhibition. This is Jay Skoglund and Ted Simmering, and both of you guys are in the arts at Jefferson High School, right? Okay, tell us how this all came about, because you were responsible for bringing Bill Close, one of the artists, to this exhibition, right?
Right. Yeah, we applied for an Illinois Arts Council grant, and through that we get to have Bill Close working for about 5 or 6 weeks with our students at school. And they're going to be working in 3 different groups, using one group with strings, one with old brass and woodwind instruments, and another one building a large piece that will be a group effort that will be similar to some of the stuff Bill performs on.
Were any of your students here tonight? And what was the reaction?
Well, I think they're really excited, but especially about that long string piece in the back there, because you know they can play it and really feel it. It's one thing to see slides of Bill's work, but then to hear it at the same time really puts it all together. And I want to go back to your first question about you know what part we played in this Bill coming to the art museum. We asked Scott, the curator here, Scott Snyder, if he could help us with an exhibit space for Bill, and when he saw Bill's video and slides of his work, he got really excited about it and kind of pulled that whole show together to do this for Bill. But it just worked out real nice to have Bill in our residency, plus have him at the museum at the same time. I think that's great. That we've got a school doing something, we've got a museum doing something with the same person.
It's a thing that people are invited to participate in, right? I mean, like actually hands-on kind of exhibit.
Right, yeah,
you can play that. I can play that.
It's great. We were down here Monday night helping set up and tune them, and everybody else started eating pizza, and I was just having a blast on those. They're absolutely incredible to play.
And do you think your students will be inspired by this? And what do you think is going to come from this? What?
Lots of interesting sound. Experimental rhythms, I suppose. Right now we're at the pencil paper stage, and I've seen some incredibly exciting designs with this whole idea of the string and then the resonance chamber. And Bill's talked a lot about the physical elements of sound to these kids. So they're trying to do something visual, but think about those same elements. And the string pieces are really exciting. And we've got another group that's doing refabricating old horn parts and new parts into new instruments. And those are all wind and horn kind of sounds, and they're really different than the string sounds. And
some percussive stuff going on too. Some kids
We've got some tube things coming in.
Yeah.
Another really interesting thing too is and the kids have picked it up really quick. We've talked about designing instruments that can be interactive. Like you might design an instrument, but you might need friends to help play it. So this becomes a real group instrument process, and there's a lot of fun stuff you can go with.
Well, it's a great thing for the Rockford art scene, and thanks you guys for doing this, for being so artistically alert and bringing this to Rockford. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Hello, I'm Scott Snyder, curator at the Rockford Art Museum here in Rockford, Illinois. I'd like to thank Jay Skoglund and Ted Simmering, instructors at Jefferson High School, for introducing me to Bill Close, for he was such a perfect fit to fit in the exhibition Sound and Vision. Within this, what we have is an exhibition about time arts. Time arts encompasses kinetic art, sound, video art, any art that has to be seen through a period of time in order to realize the art object. Kathy Lynn Gasser, Melissa Goldstein, Catherine Smith, New York and Michigan artists, did a collaborative project while they were students at the School of the Art Institute, a piece called Idle Accord. The piece is about how it's their conversation of how the piece came together. It's the evolution or process of making an art object. Another collaborative project in the exhibition is a video and sound piece by Bob Snyder and Ed Rankus, both from Chicago, entitled Nerve Language. Bob Snyder, a sound artist and an instructor at the School of the Art Institute, collaborated with Ed on this mostly black and white film that is very image-oriented. An interesting installation for us was the piece by Sean Decker. This circle of aluminum and motors and electronics is suspended from the ceiling, and Sean is the head of the Art and Technology Department at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago and comes from a music background. A few of the artists in the exhibition come from a music background. You know, they think of sound first and object secondary, and the piece is entitled Divided Circle, Music for 16 Stirrers. Christopher Furman, also a Chicago artist, he is the more figurative of the artists in the exhibition, with pieces relating to our five senses, and also flashlights mimicking people searching for each other, a narrative of an elderly man. It's a kinetic piece, and all of these are hooked up to motion sensors, so as the audience walks by, they trigger the sound and the motion of these pieces, which is quite fascinating. Gary Justice, an instructor at Northwestern University and a former student at the School of the Art Institute, was one of the first people I thought of for this exhibition. We have a variety of his work, most of it kinetic, some pieces more specific in sound and object. But you'll see everything from video, a piece that is almost analyzing itself through a surveillance camera monitoring a motor, and then you see that through a video monitor. A very tranquil piece entitled The Pond, of which aluminum and fabricated metal is mimicking the ripples in a pond. Another piece entitled Chin Rest is about the artist's dog, expectations that the dog had of the owner, and furthering into social class expectations. Coinciding with the Sound and Vision show, in our Cooler Gallery, we have a show by Chicago abstract artist Wesley Kimler. Wesley painted 8 very new paintings specifically for our museum for this exhibition. So I hope you can come down and check out the 2 exhibitions. They're interactive and they're a lot of fun. Please visit us. Thank you.
When I'm not producing the Art Zone, I'm out on my Harley-Davidson hog.
Hi, I'm John Fraser. I am a sabbatical replacement professor here at Rock Valley College. I'm replacing Sherry Rittenhouse, who's on sabbatical this semester. And I have the unique fortune of being the organizer in her absence for the Rock Valley College High School Art Competition and Exhibition. This show, which is in its 9th year, is a showcase for Rockford area high schools. And it's all Rockford area high schools. This year, we have 12 participants. 12 participating high schools. So this year I think we have 480 roughly pieces, and the juror has the right to reject work that he feels doesn't meet the qualifications that he's looking for. The process is very important, whether you're accepted or rejected. It's a very valuable opportunity for people to offer their work in competition. A student artist has a chance to see how his work fares in that realm, which it becomes very difficult at times, and you've got to realize that being rejected is not a bad thing. It just happens to be the result of that moment. It might be the result of picking a piece that wasn't your best. It might be subject to the jurors' personal decisions. But regardless, it's an opportunity for growth. And I think that anybody that has the willingness to participate is somebody that wins. I don't think a juror at this level will be looking for the next Rembrandt or the next masterpiece. What they're looking for is an honest, authentic, young maybe, spark. Something that indicates that whether they're competent in their formal skills, the individual who's really attempting to do something will surface. I mean, every time, whether that has been fine-tuned or finessed or romanced into being, a student artist still has the chance to show something about themselves. I'm lucky to say that when an opportunity like this presents itself, I genuinely jump at it. So it's wonderful that Sherry took the time to consider me, and I'm honored to be here. And this is going to be a nice show. We brought a juror in who I've known for a number of years, who has a national reputation. His name is John Pittman. He's an abstract painter based in Chicago. He's been showing throughout the country for over 20 years, has a very large reputation, shows with galleries in Chicago, New York City, and on the West Coast as well. And he and I are working on the show, and we're going to have a lot of fun with it.
John Fraser approached me several months ago with the possibility of jurying this art show, asked me to consider it, think about it. I thought about it for some time and was intimidated by the prospect. In a way, I think it might be more difficult for an active practicing artist to judge other artwork than it would be for a person involved with other aspects of the art world. At times it's hard for me to step outside of my realm and seriously consider other work. I'm hoping that I can be somewhat objective, although I realize at the same time that my selections will be subjective, subject to my likes, my dislikes, subject to my experience, my education, my exposure, and the peculiar whims of my nature. Hopefully my selections will be representational, and that the body of work that I do select for the library will be a good cross-section of the fine work that the kids around the city of Rockford are doing. I'm looking to be surprised. I'm looking for things that catch my eye, things that stand out as being different or strikingly interesting to me, things that catch me the first time around. And I will pull those things, and most likely they will be selected as we go around a second, third, fourth, however many times it takes. I'll be looking for other qualities. I'll be looking for formal qualities such as good design, compositional integrity, a quality of line that stands out, color and color relationships, and sometimes I'm also looking for that beginning, that creative spark. This is all young work. These kids haven't been doing this for very long, but sometimes you can see work done by young people and something will catch your eye and you get a sense that there's a beginning there. There's a beginning of something really wonderful that's germinating and has the ability to grow into a great talent and a very distinctive style. I was not a serious art student in high school. I took a mandatory art class, as all the other kids did, but I did not pursue it with any vigor. I'd always been involved as a kid with building models, and I can remember absolutely loving geography class because we would trace and color maps. We would make maps. Not until I got to undergraduate school did I start my serious studies of art. That began with a freshman survey course and blossomed into becoming an art major. So I suppose in certain ways I was late coming to the arts. We think of most artists as being prodigal children, starting very early, exhibiting an incredible talent for drawing, color, composition, whatever. I think I came to it rather late, but once I came to it, I was there, and I had a feeling that it was something I had to do. It was a necessity for me. Young people, all of us artists, whether we have been doing it for 25 years, whether we're starting out now in junior high or high school, are grappling with the same sort of questions. We desire at times to record our history, our past, and we can do that through artwork. We also are coming to terms constantly with our life around us and the wonders of nature that we confront every day, the perplexities of life as it is. We can come to grips with that through our art. At least we can attempt to investigate what is going on in our lives through our art. As well, we project into the future. We're able to consider the mysteries of what is yet to come. And with our artwork, we are unlimited in how we can approach what might well be something in the future. It's a journey. There really aren't, for me anyway, results and endpoints, but we are ongoing in this journey of observation and at sometimes revelation. The process is at times anguishing and difficult. There are periods of joy, moments of wonder and splendor when we surprise ourselves with what we come up with. But it's a noble endeavor, and I've got to keep thinking it's a worthwhile thing to do. And for all of the students who have taken the time to pursue their own art and to enter this competition, to be part of this show, I commend your efforts. The work is all worthwhile. It's all good, and it's been very difficult to make a quantitative decision as to whether or not something is better than something else, because for each artist dealing with his or her own experience, each one of these artworks is a very vital and important expression. I take this quite seriously because I know what it's like to go through the process of making an artwork. Each and every one of these pieces has unique and nice qualities. It's just great that young people are working, that teachers are encouraging, and that communities are supporting shows such as this. I'd like to thank Rock Valley College for the opportunity to see all of this work, to be instrumental in the compilation of work for the show, and the opportunity to be here. Thanks as well to John Fraser for inviting me. It's a difficult task, but it's been a very good experience for me. It takes me back a few years, and it's wonderful to see what these young people are going through and how they're able to express themselves so well.
There's such a vibrant art community here, supportive of each other, competitive as well. I mean, I can't say that. It's not all easy. And I just think it's really wonderful to see a community like this support such an incredible variety of activity that's going on here. And I think this show, in its own way, is just an adjunct of that activity. And I think that the people that are active in Rockford with the arts, they come to the show, they see what's going on, they recognize the young students coming up. And it's just really wonderful, first of all, to have been a juror for this a while back, and to be able to come back on board and organize a show like this in Sherry's absence. And I really want to thank both Sherry Rittenhouse and Lester Sahlberg for recommending me for this position. And I'm very happy to have been part of it. And I know the juror, John Pittman, is also very pleased to have been able to do this. Thanks.
The drum collection of Cheap Tricks Bun E becomes an exciting installation at the Clark Art Center at Rockford College. Now here are some video highlights of that exhibition.
This is Sister Mary Artizona. Pay attention now. It's time for video art from Paul Harvey Oswald.
But we can ensure their safety. Everything's fine.
We could have a crime-free society tomorrow, but we'd need a camera on every street corner, a camera in every living room, a camera in every bedroom.
The camera is doing very well so far.
Parents secretly installing video cameras so they could see what their child's day was like while they were at work.
I appreciate it. It's just that little extra added ounce of security. It's just another way for them to have eyes in the back of their heads.
What's going on?
My apartment's bugged. So is yours.
You mean there's an insect?
Law enforcement discovered that it was relatively easy to take your alligator clips and a microphone and intercept a phone call.
The device may be battery operated or wired to your home's electric circuitry.
How come they have a microphone in my house? I want to go to the police.
American technology and American computer expertise is developing the most repressive surveillance systems the world has ever seen.
Everyone here has a citizen's record. We've all been computerized, cataloged, fingerprinted, photographed.
Digitized thumbprints and digitized face prints and digitized everything.
The government maintains extensive dossiers on every citizen.
We hold big, massive files on individuals. We have their fingerprints. We have their names, their dates of birth, and those types of things.
Storing information on people, their lives, their activities from day to day, even things that they don't realize. Parking illegally, parking dogs, their names come up.
Everybody knows what everybody does, which isn't very nice.
There's just so much information around, there's no really privacy.
This information can jeopardize the lives of people and place them into vulnerable positions which they do not deserve.
You don't need a law when you've done that.
Privacy has become the key word that means how are large organizations using the power of information technology over people, people's weaknesses as individuals, their medical problems, their sexual problems, about the way they lead their lives.
Problem number one, invasion of privacy.
Thanks for watching the Art Zone. We hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions or comments or would like to submit some video art for the show, give us a call at 968-0123 or stop in and see us at J.R. Kortman Center for Design or Cafe Esperanto at 107 North Main, downtown. Once again, thanks for watching the Art Zone. This is 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 the Art Zone.